Today we shall learn about what are conductors, insulators. Conductors are further classified depending on the mode of transportation of when we are measuring their conductivity. It is in between that of the insulators. So rho is resistivity, or it can also be called as Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 6 on the chapter Electrochemistry. Last class we studied about products of electrolysis. Today we shall learn about what are conductors, insulators, semiconductors, different types of conductors, and also how to measure the conductivity of ionic solution. Okay. So first, what do you mean by conductors? The substance which allow electric current to pass through them, we call them as conductors, and they have a very large conductivity as well. Example, metals, alloys, fused electrovalent compounds or ionic solutions, etc. are all conductors, isn't it? They all allow the electric current to pass through them, isn't it? So, any substance which allows the electric current to pass through them, we call them as conductors. Conductors are further classified depending on the mode of transportation of electrical charge inside them. Okay. So, how are they further divided or classified? Okay. First, we have metallic conductors. When electricity is passing through metallic conductors, the conductance is due to the movement of electrons. So what is it? Electrical conductance through metal is called as metallic or electronic conductance, and it is due to the movement of electrons. Now, the electronic conductance depends on the following factors. That is, what is the nature and structure of the metal? How many valence electrons are available per atom, and also the temperature. The conductance decreases with the increase in temperature. Okay. Electrical conduction through metals do not bring about any chemical transformations. So these are the four properties or nature of metallic conductors. So the conductance or the electricity can pass through metals is basically because of the available of free electrons. So the conductance depends on what? Depends on the nature of the metal, how many valence electrons are available per metal, and also it depends on the temperature. And during conductance in metallic conductor, there is no chemical transformation which is happening. Okay. Next type of conductor is electrolytic conductor. Okay. The conductance of electricity by ions in the solution, by what? By ions in the solution is called as electrolytic conductance or ionic conductance. Okay. The conductivity of electrolytic solution depends on what are the factors which changes the conductance in electrolytic conductors. That is, nature of the electrolyte, size of the ions which is produced, and the nature of the solvent and its viscosity and concentration of the electrolyte, as well as temperature. When temperature increases, even the conductivity or the conductance increases in electrolytic conductors. So what is the nature here, or what are the factors here? It depends on the nature of the electrolyte used, what's the electrolyte there, what is the solvent which you have used, what is the viscosity of the solvent or the thickness for that solvent, what is there, what is the size of the ions, and also it depends on the temperature. And during passage of current through electrolyte, it is accompanied with chemical changes. That is, we have already learned when we pass electric current through electrolytes, there are so many reactions which can happen, isn't it? That is, it is accompanied with chemical changes as well. So this is about the conductors. Next we have is insulators. What is the meaning of insulators? The substances which do not allow the electric current to pass through them, we call them as insulators. Example, we can tell wood, silk, cotton, glass, rubber, etc. does not allow the current to pass through them, isn't it? So they are called as insulators. Next is semiconductors. Those substances that allow electrical current to pass through them partially or having conductivity between conductors and insulators are called as semiconductors. They allow the electric current to pass through them but partially, or we can tell when we are measuring their conductivity, it is in between that of the insulators and the conductors. So they are called as semiconductors. Example, silicon, germanium, oxides of manganese, cobalt oxide, titanium dioxide, etc. are all semiconductors. Okay. Next is about superconductors. What are superconductors? Certain material called as superconductors have zero resistivity or infinite conductivity. They are very, very good conductors. There is no resistance at all when there is a change in temperature also. Okay. So they are called as superconductors. Okay. Earlier, only metals and their alloys at a very low temperature were known to behave like superconductors. But now, number of ceramic materials and mixed oxides are also known to show superconductivity at temperature of 150 Kelvin also. So, superconductors, they do not have resistivity at all. They have zero resistivity. Then, we call them as superconductors. Okay. Next is about the conductance of electrolytic solution. To understand about the conductance of the electrolytic solution, first you need to understand the terminologies, and there are certain definitions and formulas which you need to know. First one is resistance. Now what is resistance? The electrical resistance of an object is directly proportional to the length and inversely proportional to area of cross section. Resistance means what? It is a measure of hindrance to the flow of electricity. Now through a material, there is a electrons which are moving, through which, what is the meaning of that? The electric current which is moving, if I have to tell, there is a resistance for that, there is a hindrance for that. That is called as resistance. So what is it? It is the hindrance to the flow of electric current through a substance. So the resistance of any object is directly proportional to its length. Okay, for example, this is the object. It is directly proportional to the length and it is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Then when you cut it, what is the area of cross section? It is inversely proportional to that. So we can write R is proportional to L by A. To remove the proportionality, we put a constant called as rho, which is called as resistivity. So rho is resistivity, or it can also be called as specific resistance. Okay. Next is about the resistivity. A constant of proportionality, that is rho. We write it just like P. Okay. Rho is called as resistivity. When L is 1 meter, that is length is 1 meter and area is 1 meter square, then resistance will be equal to resistivity. Therefore, resistivity of a substance is equal to the resistance when it is 1 meter long and the area of cross section is 1 meter square. Okay. So that is the definition of resistivity. Coming to unit of resistivity. Now we know that R is equal to rho L by A. So rho I am keeping on one end, R, L, then A comes on to the denominator. So unit of resistivity, what we can give? It is ohm meter square by meter. So meter and meter gets cancelled. So it is ohm meter. Okay, what is it? It is ohm meter. Fine. Next is about the conductance. Now, what is the meaning of conductance? Conductance is the ease with which the electricity flows through the substance. It is just the reciprocal of resistance. So, we can tell it is inverse of resistance. Now, resistance means what? It's a hindrance to the flow of electric current. What is conductance? It is at what ease the electric current can pass through a substance. So, obviously, it is the reciprocal of resistance, isn't it? Thus, G, conductance is denoted by letter G, okay? So, G is equal to 1 by R. We know that R is equal to rho L by A. So, R rho L by A goes to the numerator. 1 by rho is called as kappa, okay? And that is also called as conductivity. What is it? It is called as conductivity, okay? The SI unit of conductance is Siemens, represented by the symbol S, and it is equal to per ohm, or it can also be called as mho or ohm, symbol with -1 it can be written, okay? So, what is it? G, conductance, is inverse of the resistance. So, G is equal to 1 by R, which can be written as A by rho L. 1 by rho is written as kappa, which is called as the conductivity. Next is, what is conductivity? The inverse of resistivity is called as conductivity or specific conductance. It's represented by the symbol kappa, okay? Conductivity is of the material is Simon per meter. Conductivity is equal to the conductance when the material is 1 meter long and the area of cross section is 1 meter square. Next is unit of conductivity. The SI unit of conductivity is Simon per meter. What is Simon? Simon is per ohm, okay? So, kappa is equal to GL by A. Now, from where did we get this? It is nothing but from here. What is it? G is equal to kappa A by L. So, what is kappa? GL by A. Same thing is written. What is conductance unit? Simon. Length meter, area meter square. So, it is Simon meter by meter square. This gets cancelled. So, Simon per meter is the SI unit of conductivity or specific conductance. So, I hope you have understood this. So, what is resistance? It is the hindrance to the flow of electric current of a material. So, R is equal to rho L by A. Rho is called as resistivity. Correct? Then we learnt about the SI unit of resistivity. Then we learned what is conductance. Conductance is the ease with which the electric current can flow through a particular material, and it is inverse of resistance. We learned that G is equal to kappa A by L. Correct? And also we learned what is kappa. Kappa is conductivity, and we learnt about the unit of conductivity. Okay? Next is something called as cell constant. The ratio of distance between the two electrodes to the area of cross section of an electrode is called as cell constant. So, what is it? Now, I have two electrodes here. Okay. These are the two electrodes, metal electrodes, one positive, one negative electrode. Now, the distance between them, okay, that is L, and the area of cross section is A, okay. So, the ratio of distance between the two electrodes L to the area of cross section A of the electrode is called as cell constant, and it is written as G star. So, G star is equal to L by A. This is called as what? Cell constant. Why we are learning this? You will understand further. Okay. So, next is measurement of conductivity of the ionic solution. Now, if we want to calculate the conductivity of any metal, it is very easy. You can use a Wheatstone bridge and you can find out the resistance, and then you can calculate the conductance from that. Now, for an ionic solution, where you cannot do connections because it is a solution, isn't it? It does not have a positive electrode, negative electrode. So how are we going to calculate the conductivity of an ionic solution? See, accurate measurement of unknown resistance can be performed on Wheatstone bridge. For measuring the resistance of an ionic solution, there are two problems as I told you all. Firstly, passing direct current changes the composition of the solution, because if you pass direct current, there is chemical change which is happening. Second thing is, the solution cannot be connected to the bridge like a metal, isn't it? So, to overcome these two problems, a source of alternating current, and the second problem is resolved by using a conductivity cell. Okay. First problem, to prevent the reaction, what we are doing? We are passing alternating current. So first problem of chemical composition change we have resolved. Second thing, as we cannot, connect the ionic solution directly like a metal, we are using some device called as the conductivity cell. Now, what is this conductivity cell? See, conductivity cell contains two electrodes. It has a glass vessel where there is an opening, and it has got two platinum electrodes. The length between the platinum electrodes is L, and the area of cross section is taken as A. Okay, this is one type of conductivity cell where this can be connected. There are two wires which you can connect, and whatever you want to find out, the ionic solution whose conductivity you want to find out, is poured into this conductivity cell. Or there is one more like this, where you have two platinum electrodes, and the area of cross section, and there are two connecting wires. To this one we fill the ionic solution. Now, once we know the length and the area of cross section, we can find out the resistance by resistance is equal to rho L by A, or I can also put it as resistance is equal to L by A by kappa, because kappa is equal to 1 by rho. Just interchange it, rho will be equal to 1 by kappa, correct? Or L by A is called as G star, that is cell constant. So, I can write this formula as R is equal to G star by kappa also, or I can also write it as R is equal to rho into kappa also I can write. Okay, so different forms in which we can do the calculation by knowing what exactly we have given in the numerical. But we can of course find out the resistance of the solution if we know the length and the area of cross section of the conductivity cell. Now, how do we actually measure? What are the steps involved? Okay, so to measure the conductivity of the ionic solution, first step is calculation of the cell constant. Now, how do we do, or why we have to do the calculation of the cell constant? See, the cell constant of the conductivity cell, it is just a glass tube in which there are two electrodes which is kept like this, and there is an opening for the solution. Can you break the glass and always measure the length and the area of cross section? No. So, it is unreliable and inconvenient also to measure always. So, what we do is, we pick up a particular conductivity cell and we fill the ionic solution whose conductivity is already known. What is it? Conductivity is already known. Known solution for that particular ionic solution which you are filling, that's conductivity is known. Kappa value you have to know. Okay. So, we usually use KCl solutions, okay, whose conductivity is known accurately at various concentration at different temperature. So, what we do is, we fill here the solution whose conductivity is known. We connect it in the Wheatstone bridge. We calculate the resistance. So, G star is equal to L by A. We know that. We also know that R is equal to L by A into kappa. Correct? So, L by A is G star. So R is equal to G star by kappa, or I can write it as G star is equal to R into kappa. Correct? So, if I get the resistance, I know the conductivity, I can calculate the cell constant. Correct? So, I'll use the solution whose conductivity is already known, connect it to Wheatstone bridge and find out the resistance. Then I will get the cell constant. Once I get the cell constant of the conductivity cell, we discard the solution from that conductivity cell and we will fill the conductivity cell with the ionic solution whose conductivity is unknown. You have to find out the conductivity of that particular solution. Next, what we have? Determination of conductance of a given electrolyte solution. So, as I explained, you take the conductivity cell, fill the conductivity cell with KCl solution whose conductivity is known. Use the Wheatstone bridge, find out the resistance and find out G star, that is the cell constant. Now, for that conductivity cell which you have picked, you already know G star. Now, discard the KCl solution and fill it up with the solution whose conductivity you need to find out. Okay, that is, now you have to fill with the given electrolytic solution to that conductivity cell. Now you are going to fix it into the Wheatstone bridge. In the Wheatstone bridge, R3 and R4 resistance is known and it is fixed. R1 is the variable resistance, R2 is one which you need to find out, and P is the detector what we have. Now this is fed with the AC source of current. Okay. Now what we do, the R1 has to be adjusted such that there is no current which is passing through P and the Wheatstone bridge is completely balanced. Correct? Then what we do? Once we find out the resistance R2, how we will know? R2 is equal to R1 into R4 by R3. This is the formula. So, you know the resistance R1, you know the resistance of R4 and R3. Then you can find out the resistance of R2. That is our ionic solution what we have taken. Once you find out the resistance there, then what we do? We use the formula conductivity is equal to cell constant by R. That is simple. I had already explained R is equal to G star by kappa. So, kappa is equal to what? G star by R. So, cell constant you already know for the conductivity cell. Resistance you found out just now. So, you get the conductivity of the ionic solution. So, I hope you have understood how to use a conductivity cell to find out the resistance of the unknown solution. Okay. And then once you find the resistance, you can also calculate the conductivity by cell constant by R, that is G star by R formula you can use. So, next class we will be learning about the molar conductivity, variation of the conductivity and the molar conductivity with concentration, and about the Kohlrausch law. Okay. Thank you my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.